Stream growth is not great. Hello, one watcher. I can't see names when people pop up. Just say hello. Send an emoji. Do whatever you want. Do whatever your little heart desires. Also, this is the, let's see here, we got the Hellcat here. Anyone who's played MechWarrior should recognize this design to some degree. It has changed quite a bit. See, just doing giant robots tonight. Always feeling like drawing or painting giant robots. Whoa, that almost fell. Once again, using the music of Thomas Jordan. He's a cool guy. He doesn't afraid of anything. Just is not afraid of absolutely anything. Whoa. Don't know where my cat is right now. I have my own little Hellcat. I'm not sure what she's doing. Weirdly rough day today. Like no reason. No reason at all for today to be the way it was. It has a like a limit to my border here. Never had that before. Still working on details. This thing has got a lot of details because metal tends to collect a lot of detail. Tempted, really tempted to just do full camo on this thing. Like actual forest olive drab camo. Actually is. That's the correct camouflage. Come on, Photoshop. You couldn't have lost all your bandwidth already. That's better. Kind of really liking the green. That means I have to fix this part though. Go back to the way it was. Oh, oh no. Hello all you party people, welcome to the Hellcat live stream if you're just joining us. Trying to get this back to a point where it makes sense. There we go. I decided to keep the red. Like, green is cool and all, but they want their mechs to be intimidating. They don't want it to be camouflaged. Psychological warfare on top of the regular warfare, you know, like all the explosions and stuff. I think in this stream we're going to work on eliminating black lines, and I'm going to be taking questions because the black line removal process can be a little boring. So ask me questions either via messenger or right on the stream. If you don't care about people seeing your question, I will answer them. Anything about art, life, science preferably. No, I'm joking. Anything. Ask me questions about my hairstyle. Ask me questions about where I'm from. I don't know. I don't really care. I just want to talk to people today. I'm really feeling like I want to talk to people, and if you ask me questions, I will answer them. Or if you just want to talk about your day, I'll respond. I'll do all sorts of things to make you happy. Black line removal is important for making your picture appear more real. But you might lose some of the character that your picture has. I see lighting would be hitting here. You have to be careful because you're going to lose depth, you're going to lose shading. Right there, I gotta go to one of my lighting layers and add something. That's just my comic book I'm working on, don't worry about that. See, another way to remove black lines is to just completely cover them with white lines. But there's not a lot of grace or finesse in that. You can see here I've already completed the texturing phase, which can be a really fun phase to watch, but not as fun to do. Something hit it at some point right here. We'll put a little scorch mark there later on. It'll be a little interesting. Sorry about my sniffles, guys, tonight. It's probably going to be a really annoying stream if you're really invested in it, because I'm going to be sniffling a bit here and there. I've come down with some sort of cold. For those of you just joining us, we have the music of Thomas Jordan. He's a hell of a guy. He does lots of music stuffs. Like, really, just some top-notch stuffs. Come here. Come here. Hey, come here, sweetie. Come here, little cute kitty. Who's the cute kitty? Thank you, watchers, for still watching. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. I've sent the link to a couple people to test and make sure it was working. It seems like the link through Facebook is not working for me, which means I'm losing out on all of my Facebook followers. I might need to log into a device that's not logged into me to actually test this. But at the moment, we are painting giant robots. It seems you might need to sign into your YouTube account in order to actually comment on the video. Kitty, no! Hey, no, that's a rum and coke. You can't have that. That's also a hair tie. You can't have that either. Kitty, this is not the time. Come here. Yeah, that ball's not gonna push itself around, is it? I should just do a kitty live stream. Well, we now have my friend Courtney watching. I'm going to be responding to some of her messages. You might hear some stuff that you can't see her responses. I'll try to read them out. I'll read them out in a silly voice, which will just make it all that much better. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see here. Back to painting. We have got... Oh yeah, I'm doing black line removal, which means that I'm going to be removing black lines, making it look a bit more realistic, but only a bit, because I still want to keep the somewhat cartoony style. Because the original game of MechWarrior was not exactly known for its graphical prowess. It was definitely a one of those games that back in the day, the Japanese had some very good techniques for making games look really good, even at low polygons. And Americans did not have that. They did not figure it out yet. So the MechWarrior franchise was famous for the really blocky graphics and the really blurry skies and the... Like, I wanted to retain the same feeling of the original game. So it is not going to be the prettiest thing in the planet, but I want it to have some more depth. So right now we're working on removing black lines. Making right now it's the glass look a bit more realistic. And Kira, that is toilet paper, and that's not for you. Come here. Come here. Yeah, look. Level with me here. Why are you attacking the toilet paper? Talk to me. Are you bored? Are you anxious? Do you miss your mom? I always wonder if cats miss their parents. You never know. Don't attack the toilet paper, please. It's not gonna bring your mom back. Welcome everyone to the stream. Please comment on YouTube on the stream. I can actually see the comments live, and I can interact with you as I paint. The future is now. Like, if you do this, it can be a bit more interesting for everyone involved. Tonight we're doing black line removal, which is not the most interesting process in the world, so I'm encouraging questions to be asked. Basically, make me uncomfortable, purposefully. That's what you're encouraged to do. Also realized I completely messed with my silhouette at some point. Like, there's no silhouette anymore. It's sort of become its own entity here. Oh, it's not in hardness mode. I might have drank too much, you guys. I went straight from like just relaxing a little bit to like completely ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I can't focus. Most of the people that wanted to watch tonight are going to bed soon anyway. I don't know why I bother trying to do these live streams at this time of night. I might need to plan these ahead. Like, tune in on Saturday mornings or some shit, because doing them right after work, no one's here. No one's on, no one cares. I mean, people care. They care, but they don't have time or energy to care. So, like, they want to care, and then they feel upset at themselves for not being able to. And then people blame them for that? Like, no, cut that shit out. Do not blame people for not having the energy to care. This society sort of glorifies you not being able to focus on certain things. If you can focus on a person's live stream, I don't blame you. I mean, it's just narcissism anyway. Like, I'm only doing this because I'm lonely and bored. And if you don't have time or energy for it, that's fine by me. It's really cool if you do. If you do have time and energy for it, it's really cool to have you around. Now, Courtney, black lines are terrible. Don't rely on them too much. And my friend Jen is also watching. I know you care, but it's different. I'm not talking about how much you care. I'm talking about the fact that people don't have time to. They don't have energy to. And I think that's a fundamental problem in our world here. Like, our entire planet is so obsessed with just collecting more and more money. Why do I have the selection tool? Let's get rid of that crap. Okay. You can't take it with you when you die, people. When you die, your money means nothing. All the effort you did, all the effort you put forth to collect more and more money doesn't mean anything. Collect experiences. Collect friends, people, places, thoughts, ideas, feelings. Collect them, save them, share them. Because those are the things that persist. I said something to a child one day at a farmer's market, and I could not forget it for the life of me. Something about, she wanted the bookmark that was like a demon. It was of a demon, and her mom was like, oh honey, don't you want something more pretty? And she's like, this means more. There's a story in this one. He's trying to fight for what he believes in, regardless of whether or not the other person is right. I was just like, you're 5. You were 5 years old and you understand this concept. Like, that memory will never leave my brain. That 5-year-old kid left a more poignant thing in my brain than any Bible scripture or business review or stock market thing could ever do for me. I will never forget this 5-year-old having more insight into our society than most 50-year-olds. Like, times her age by 10 and you lose all of that insight. You just become blind to some of the more obvious things. And because I'm slightly inebriated, I already forgot what the 5-year-old said. But it made me incredibly happy. For those of you that are just joining us, we are painting the Hellcat Mark 6. A game I played a long time ago with a fella named Joe Bunshu. Called Mech Warrior. The one we played in particular is Mech Warrior Mercenaries. You could customize your mech in all sorts of ways. I wanted to do my own version of one of the mechs from the game called the Hellcat. Now, the regular version here is in the background. It's called the Mad Cat. Now, it's sort of bulky, doesn't move around a lot, doesn't have a lot of mobility. I wanted to sort of take a Titanfall approach. Those of you that don't know Titanfall, Titanfall is a game where you can jump out of your mech and fly around as a pilot and fight other people. In Mech Warrior, they tried that in another game. It didn't work out so well. It worked out well for Guerrilla Studios. I always wondered, what if Guerrilla Studios did Mech Warrior? So here we are. I came up with this mech myself. It's not actually from the game. If you're familiar with Mech Warrior, this might actually make very, very little sense. This is not a mech from the game. The game didn't even actually have... It did not actually have control schemes that allowed for unilateral movement of the limbs of the mech. It was definitely kind of limited, actually, which made it so that you had a pivoting function for the torso of the mech, but you did not get any real control of the arms themselves. So you sort of had to aim the entire body at your enemy and just hope for dear God that your shots hit. One thing that my brother and I really liked to do was to load out our entire mech with rail cannons, which would power down your mech on a single shot. But if you hit the enemy, they would die instantaneously. We made it to the final 5 mechs before I think we lost, or we won. Either way, it was impressive. Our friend, Joe Bunshu, who ran the LAN parties, had a tiny little, like, chicken mech. It looked like a frickin' ostrich. And he made it so that it had all machine guns. It would whittle down your health really quickly. But if you hit it with anything heavy, it would die almost instantly. He was also in the last round with us. I believe my brother actually scored a hit, but I was powered down at the time. So we were not able to complete our mission of winning the day. This is actually starting to look a lot better than it did before. I'm going to continue the black line removal. Black lines are not useful for realism, they make it look cartoony, so if we remove enough of them, you'll see that we start to have a much more dynamic painting. Sometimes you'll end up with parts that you have to fix, like right here. I need the red. I started with a very comic book style picture. I wanted to sort of look like, I guess for lack of a better term, I wanted to look like I cared about the initial product, but I didn't expect this to be popular. People were coming over to my table, they were like, oh yeah, Battletech, oh my god, Mech Warrior. And I'm like, people remember this? People actually remember Mech Warrior? I didn't even remember Mech Warrior until 5 seconds ago. So here we are doing a full-blown painting of this because some dude was like, oh yeah, Mech Warrior. But I'm having a good time doing it. I guess that's what counts. Courtney, everyone wishes that we had more time. I actually read that a while back, but just now I'm answering it. I feel myself aging. Like, I feel like I'm aging every day. Like, I'm aging 5 years for every day of life. And I feel like I'm missing things. I don't have a child, I don't have a girlfriend, so I'm just like, okay, let's just exist for a while. And as awesome as it is to actually be able to absorb information without worrying too much about spending and like the cost of living, I don't have any experiences to draw back on. I wasted so much time thinking that I was doing the right thing, and turns out nobody really knows if they're doing the right thing or not. I mean, here I am, age 30, painting a giant robot on the internet. I have a handful of people watching my stream, which makes me feel pretty good. You guys actually give a damn. Kudos. Scott! Oh my god, I just saw your messages. I'm sorry, I hope you're still around. Are you here? If you're here, send another message. Scott, I haven't seen you in ages. I missed your face. Bless your face. I don't know if you've seen those videos. That guy actually turned out to be quite a douchebag. Anyway, we are painting Mech Warrior. You remember the LAN parties? This shit was awesome. So much fun. Anyone else who's watching? Scott was my first best friend. Multiple best friends. That's how life works. But Scott was my very best friend when I was little. I still consider you one of my best friends, Scott. I'm sorry that life has taken us in different directions. What is this song? For those of us who are just joining us, this is Thomas Jordan. He's a very good friend of mine. We met through another friend of ours. Scott, you were my first. Yes. No, you remember like in the what was it, the attic of your dad's garage, and we're playing like freaking Nintendo 64, like Zelda, like flipping our shit. I can't remember exactly what we were playing, but Legend of Zelda was high up there on the list. I don't need to select all of the layers. I do not need to select all of these layers. That was dumb. That was dumb, everybody. There's no need for me to select those layers. Kitty, hello. And Kira, what are you doing? You're not even pawing at a thing on the ground. Come here, please. Oh, okay, you're fine. My cat is okay. She's just being really silly. I actually have a couple of collaboration paintings with Scott that I've been meaning to like completely blow out of proportion and then sell prints of at these comic conventions that I've been going to. That's some news for you, Scott. I've actually been going to comic conventions and selling my work. I started producing my own comic book. I need to send you it. Send me a personal message, either via text or Facebook, of your address. I would love to actually send you a couple copies of the comic book. It's called Void Sever. It's kind of a sci-fi take on Alice in Wonderland. I haven't seen a lot of those, so I decided to do my own. Since you're now watching, Scott, we have, this is the Hellcat. You might remember the Mad Cat that's in the background here. The Mad Cat mech was kind of clunky, kind of slow. Wasn't that great. I was like, okay, what if we went full Titanfall with the Mad Cat design? So this is my version. It's the Hellcat. I was doing this at a convention, and some guy with he had like grayish hair. He was kind of aging a bit. He was like, "Oh, dude, BattleTech. Oh, Mech Warrior." I'm like, "Yeah, Mech Warrior Mercenaries." He's like, "Oh, fuck yeah," and I'm just like, "Yes." Someone actually remembers this, so I've decided to go like completely like. I wasn't even going to paint this. I was going to just leave it as a black and white sketch to do maybe small bookmarks or sketch cards with. But here we are. You might remember Margaret Lundberg, was Margaret McCarthy at the time. She's actually the one who inspired me to start doing comic book conventions. She's actually inspired a lot of my personal growth here lately. I actually took him out to dinner to celebrate. I may be moving down to the Laconia area, a bit closer to you. We should get together soon. For those of you just joining us, this is Thomas Jordan's music, a good friend of mine. He's been through hell and back to create his music. I'm just exaggerating, but he, really cool guy, doesn't afraid of anything. I also apologize for my sniffling tonight. Here's a view of the entire painting. For those of you just joining us, I realize I've been zoomed in most of this time. I went with red because you could choose any colors for your mech, and red just kind of suits the color scheme for this entire piece. This particular clan has a skull emblem and red mechs. In the game, you could have multiple clans. You could have customizable emblems and color schemes for your mech. I loved that. That was kind of the first game, actually, that I was just like, I can make it look how I want. That's exactly what I've always wanted. Oh, Photoshop. Sometimes I hate you. Also, another part of black line removal is the, you just take your lighting layer and just run like hell. You act like there's no rules. You just go right over your lines and completely eliminate them. Destroy them like we destroyed the Nazis in World War II. is like a gray. How did it get into the teal spectrum? That's just really weird. I think I have an overlay layer here. Yep. So I want to show you guys a really cool trick. So the windshield here is reflective. I'm going to be bringing the sky color a little bit into this. A little bit. That's just like, that's a lot. We need a little bit, not a lot. Scott, if you're still watching, you need to watch the show Big City Greens, it's called. It's like a animated take on Beverly Hillbillies. I feel like you'd appreciate it. So bring the sky texture just a little bit into this this glass. You see a lot of glass will be blue when it's drawn. That's actually very intuitive. People are very smart for doing that, but it's much more subtle than you think. It's a reflection, and in some cases a refraction. So you won't initially see the blue color, but it's there. And it's very effective as a tool in art to use an actual blue Scott, check your Facebook messages. I'll text you in there my phone number. Now you don't check them too often, but... Also, feel free to ask me questions about anything and everything. I'm in a talkative mood. I've been I got a new job where it's kind of custodial, but it's you know, pays the bills. But I'm completely devoid of human contact for 8 hours a day. So it's awesome to have some interaction here if you guys are in the mood for it. It's okay if you're not. You don't have to. No one's forcing you to do anything. This is America. This is America, everybody. You don't have to do anything that anyone ever tells you to do. I want you to relish in that fact for a second. You don't have to do anything that anyone tells you to do. And if you're currently in a situation where you're miserable, you have the power to escape it. Tonight we are doing black line removal phase. Like, I don't even know what that line was for. It's gone now. Poof. Gone. And now our painting is better off for it. I'd like to say we're painting happy little trees and happy little clouds, but these clouds are from fires of death, and the trees are fighting for their life while mechs and soldiers fight around them. So this is not your typical Bob Ross situation. It is a very sad, sad world we live in here, of mech warrior, of mechs fighting for control of the planet. It might not even be Earth. It might not even be Earth. But as I remove black lines, you might notice that this is becoming at least more realistic. Not entirely like realism, but you have a certain sense of, like a better sense of depth. It makes it feel like you might at least, at the very least, be in a video game. My style has always been a bit more pseudo-realism. I don't want the uncanny valley. I don't want people thinking, oh, that's cool, but what if this was more right? What if that was more right? I just want to go, you know what, screw you. But no, instead of dealing with that, I just I stick with a pseudo-realism. I actually haven't gotten too many comments like that. That was more or less a joke. For those of you just joining us, this is the music of Thomas Jordan, a very good friend of mine. He does a lot of synth tracks. He's very good at the metaphors, allegories. His music actually makes an appearance in my novel. I've barely touched on the mech down here. This painting's never going to get done if I don't actually work on the legs. This is where all the details are. Scott, that's actually very good that you don't check Facebook. It's become so toxic. Stay away from Facebook. Actually, anyone watching, this is why I'm on YouTube right now, is that people like Scott can actually find my video and comment on it a lot easier. And Facebook has become just a cesspool of ads. Like, they were even trying to post ads on the last live video I tried doing on there, and I was very excited about this stream, and it was almost impossible for people to discover it. Kikiti, where are you? Kikiti, hey. I have a cat named Kira now, Scott. She's wicked cute. Kind of a punk. I'll send you pictures. Actually, the number I sent you on Facebook, just text it so I get your new number. I'll send you some pictures of the cat. She's cool. Keeps me company, keeps me sane. Also, encouraging questions tonight. Been quite a long week. Could use some human interaction. Ask me any question you may like, either via messenger or right on the stream. I'm also here to listen, vent to me. Treat me like a faithful bartender who also paints pictures of giant robots. If you don't like giant robots, I'm sorry for you. Your life must be missing something. And Kira, that is the cord to my microphone. Literally the worst thing you could be grabbing right now. You're a punk. But I love you. If you guys are enjoying Thomas Jordan's music, it can be found on Bandcamp, Spotify, Facebook, SoundCloud. He's all over the place. I'm working on getting some other artists to send me music. I actually met a gentleman at the Vermont Comic Expo. He might be sending me a link to his music, and I will be featuring that on my live streams. Really talented individual. His wife actually contributes to the Comic-Con scene by doing some stencil, like duct tape stencil art of nerdy characters. Wicked cool. I've met so many amazing people at these conventions. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can have a robot drawing or a drink, either of the ones. my goodness. Holy crap, it's almost... Since Scott has vacated the area, I apologize for my silence the last few minutes. Probably all you've heard is my sniffling here. Who actually did the singing for the 28 days? I need a glass of water, holy crap. This might not be the best time to paint a picture of a giant mech. The Hellcat Mark 6 actually is decent. Is a decent mech to paint. Oh my goodness. Gosling's 151 proof is so strong. Thank you all for watching. I might not actually be able to even stay conscious. It's pretty intense. Oh man, really don't want to go to work tomorrow, you guys. Hope everybody's enjoying the silence in the mech drawing. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts right now. It's taking quite a while. That is perfect. Star Trek. What? Alright, I have 4 people watching. Oh my goodness, who's still watching this stream? I see 4 people. I've had like a full glass of, it's like 4 shots of Bacardi 151. Not Bacardi, Goslings. But still, if you're watching, I am completely fucking shit-faced. Ask me questions. It could be hilarious. Take advantage of this situation. Ask me anything.